Today I want to make a quick video of one of my favorite games as a kid, Bruce Lee. And I'm going to compare the versions on the ZX Spectrum versus the Commodore 64 version. One thing I was really surprised about was the differences between the two versions. Like the last game I reviewed, Exelon, the games were very similar. The Bruce Lee is similar in ways, but there's enough difference that you can't basically, like, I couldn't use all the skills that I had on the Commodore 64 version over in the ZX Spectrum version. So there are enough differences to make an interesting video of the comparisons, I think. So let's load up Bruce Lee and on the ZX Spectrum and try that first. So that's the Bruce Lee music. It's pretty much the same on the Commodore 64 version, a little Bruce Lee tune before the game actually starts. I'm going to use my joystick called the Arcade, which is a 9-pin Atari-style joystick, which I've used quite a bit on my Commodore 64. And now, actually, on my ZX Spectrum as well. So let's select Kempston there, and let's play. So one thing I noticed right away on the ZX Spectrum version was the sound. It's very basic, rudimentary. Doesn't really take away from the game much, but I would say the Commodore 64 sound is a lot more polished. One little trick in this game is if you want to clear the screen of the bad guys, you can just jump from one screen to the other, and it'll give you a few seconds while the enemies reform. It's one little trick I know I used to use quite a bit. It's also on the 64 version, same thing. Ooh, that wasn't good. Ooh, wow. Anyway, all I really wanted to do was play through the first level on this so you could see the differences. Let me clear the lanterns here. Another big difference I noticed with the Commodore 64 version is I used to be able to jump and grab 2 lanterns at one time, which I'll show you when we play the 64 version, and I just can't do that in this version. Like right there, I could have, that jump should have grabbed both lanterns, and I used to use that quite a bit as a kid to clear the levels very quickly. I haven't been able to do that on here. And now you can see that that little door on the bottom is gone. On the Commodore 64, there's an animation where the door actually slides open and there's a sound effect. And it's little things like that that are the differences. Oof. And I missed a lantern up there, which is I'm not going to be able to get unless I die and regenerate up at the top. So on these moving ladders, you just got to be careful. Those swords that are sticking out of the ceiling will kill you if you touch them, so you do not want to touch them. Now, I don't want to paint a picture. Oh, no. I don't want to paint a picture that this is a bad version at all. I think that if I had grown up with the ZX Spectrum, this probably would have still been one of my favorite games. It's a fantastic platformer. It's a lot of fun. A real classic game. And challenging as it gets to later levels. So let's play the Commodore 64 version now. Like most of these old Commodore 64 games, they're trainers, so they basically have a version where you can use cheats, which is great. I won't use them this time, but they're handy if you want to get better at the game. They also, a lot of these came with documentation built into the game, which is pretty nice, or built into the loader, I should say. So let's let that load. Bruce Lee was one of my all-time favorites as a kid. I used to love this game. It's a fantastic platformer. So no. So here's the Bruce Lee music. You can see it's a little bit more polished, a little bit more to it than the ZX Spectrum version. Alright, so let's begin. As you can see, the graphics a lot more colorful on this version. Sound is a lot, I would say, more polished, a lot more sound effects, a lot more animations with the characters as you're fighting with them. Ooh. You can see the bad guys can actually hit each other, which is kind of a neat little detail in the game. Same trick on this, on the Commodore 64 version, as was on the ZX Spectrum version, is if you leave the level, you can clear the screen of bad guys. That can help you sometimes to reposition them to a place where you want them to go. Oops. So I want to show you that little trick with the lanterns. See, that was one jump and I was able to get all of the lanterns. Use that trick a lot just to clear these levels a lot faster. Oh, another great thing about Bruce Lee, which I can't do in this video, is you can play a two-player game where one person becomes, I think it's Yama, the green guy. So you know, you could just have a lot of fun with somebody playing this multiplayer. Uh-oh, I got hit by electricity. Alright. Oh no. No, I made it. Ooh, almost hit those swords there. So as you can see, I mean this, oh no, not good. Just a fantastic game. I love this game. You know, if I had to pick one version over the other that I like the most, I would pick the 64 version. It's just more colorful, better sound. But the ZX Spectrum version is great too. So here's the version with the fire. So you can lure the enemies into these. Ooh. Ooh. Anyway, so thanks for watching. If you have any comments, just leave them. If you want to talk about old memories about Bruce Lee, or you just think I'm dead wrong about the comparison. Anyway, thanks for watching.